Right, it's Bank Holiday Monday. Don't know what you're doing, but I'm clearing out my van and my shed. I need to make some space, so I've got a hallway bench to build this week. But you see, things are piled up since I made that little metalworking shed in there. Don't know what I'm going to do with all this. Push it around. Not bad. They're split up there. See these? But there's lots of them. Right, so that's what I've got. I think I'm just going to get them all cut in half to get in the van. Right, those pieces were 4.5 metres long. So I've got 2 metres cut off. That'll either do bench seat or the uprights on the end. And the others that should be 2.5 metres, I'll get me 1950, I think I need, 2 metres. And then a 500mm piece for all the bits. Get these in the shed. And it's a little cleaner. I've got space to build my bench and clear racks so that I can get my boards on here. But I've got loads of junk. I don't know what to do with that thing. I need to build some shelving system here. And in here, ain't finished yet, but fucking doors fighting me. Got a bench, but I want to put a concrete floor down first. Then I'm going to put a 5mm piece on top of here, 5mm sheet, similar to this. So I've got a solid bench, and I'm going to wrap it with 18 gauge so that it's sort of fireproof. The 18 gauge is similar to these sheets here. It's the same stuff that I've been welding on my van with, so I should have a little bit to patch up. Keep welding on my van for a few years. There's my old flux. New welders down there and junk. Compressors hidden in there. I've got a fan there that I need to rig up. When I'm spraying, it's running quite a lot, so that needs to run constantly with the compressor. But I need to insulate it a little bit more because it's still quite noisy. Got a big bottle of helium there. Don't know what to do with that. But yeah, metal playing so I don't burn my shed down. Doors. A lot of those boards came from, see, this hasn't changed much. A lot of the boards came from when they were stuck down here. But I've got my extractor in there now. I'm going to put a board at the back of there, and then that's going to be shelving for my metal. That goes into the metal shed there. But I can get to my extractor a bit better. Pipe still runs the way it was. But I've got a wall of junk. And at some point I'm going to rebuild all this. It's another day, that'll cause chaos again. But I can work here and there now. Right, this is what I'm building, this bench. This is a picture off the internet that the customers have sent me. I'm going to make it very similar, but there's a few things I'll show you on the computer because this is a crap drawing. But we're going 950 high, 950 total height, 6'4" or 1930 in the length. 18" to the seat height, and this place is the place that I did the whole shelf thingy, shoe thingy. So we're going to put like a wicker basket in either end, and then it's going to be shoe storage, very similar to this, with a central divide in the middle. This one, let me show you on the computer, but when you look at this one, it looks like it's been screwed in from the end, and there's no groove for the top. You know, it just looks like it's screwed straight to these panels, these end panels. I think I want to cut like a housing, a groove for the seat to sit in. I don't know whether I'll do a groove for all the rest, but probably. Joining these boards together, I debated all sorts of things, whether to put a tongue and a groove on it, use dominoes, or just use biscuits. I think in the end I'm just going to use biscuits because they're quite strong, and I'll just accept the consequences, see how it goes. This nosing on the front of this one, on the drawing, sticks out. I can't decide whether I want to stick it out or just set it back a bit so the arms come down, you know, come down the front. We'll see. I'm going to make that one up as I go along. The shrinkage of the boards, I'm not worried about that, you know, just glue them all together, because they're all sort of travelling, shrinking in the same direction. So it's a rustic bench, this, so if there's a bit of movement, it doesn't really matter. And the curves on the end, it's a bit too curvy for me and them. We don't like that, so we're going to simplify that a little bit. This bench in the picture doesn't seem to have any kind of central support. It probably don't need it. It's probably quite stiff because there's tongue and groove boards on the back of the shoe storage thing. It's probably quite stiff, but I think I want to put a central support on because the one we're going to make is a bit longer than this one in the picture. And I think that's about it. So what I need to do is get some boards glued together. But I went to buy some biscuits, and Screwfix do trend biscuits for $7.99 for 100, I think it is. But I went to buy some screws, some collated screws for a different job, and while I was there they had these, which are half ale, £21.60 plus VAT, so about 25 quid for 1,000. And I've tried one. You know, they feel thinner, but the compressed beech, same as the trend ones, they feel maybe a little thinner, but these ones might have swollen up a little bit, and sometimes these are a bit stiff anyway. But if I try one of these, they vary a little bit, but you know, there's a bit of movement in that. And this box doesn't have, I don't have a tub big enough. It's just a cardboard box, so these will probably swell up a little bit. I'll have to put them in a plastic bag. And I'm going to use PU glue. While I was there I bought this. I normally buy this one, Timbermate, is it? Everbuild Lumberjack. I normally buy this one from the builders merchants. A little while ago somebody mentioned, oh, you can get it online for nothing. So I bought one online, but the problem is I had 2 tubs then, and this one's about a third full and it's wasted, so it's in the bin. Somebody knocking at the door. So anyway, this is 5 minutes. They didn't have 30-minute stuff while I was there, but it was only £11 something. This stuff's 13 or 14 quid. Like I say, the online stuff, I can't remember how much it was, but it's like 10 quid, but it takes a week to come through, and I've got too much then, you know. I can't have 2 tubs open, so I'm not the sort of person that knows when they're gonna run out of glue. I just run out of glue and go buy a few quid, I don't care. But we'll see what this one is. 5 minutes, no pressure then. And new toy, new phone. I'm going to open that. Should be working, but I'm going to end up playing with that, aren't I? Right, sorry for the unboxing shite. Hawaii P30. I couldn't really afford the P30 Pro, but it looked too big anyway. It was like up here. Hopefully a better camera to make films with. And I might end up just using this one that I'm filming on for when I'm spraying, because I don't want my shiny new phone getting covered in crap. Right, resisting temptation. Got to get on with some work. I'll get some boards glued together. Right, 4 of these boards are just short of 580, 575. I can't remember if I mentioned, but the seat's only going to be 500mm overall, with the back and the ends and everything, 500mm overall. So what I'm going to do is glue 4 boards up, and I'm just going to run the belt sander over them. I could do them in 2 and 2 and then put them through the planer, but I'd still have a joint to do. And this bench is going to be slightly rustic, so I'm just going to try and get the tops level with a biscuit jointer and then just run the belt sander over them, get them smooth. But I've got 1, 2, 3, we're going 950 high, so there and there I'll get 2 ends. So what I want is 1 for the ends, 1 for the seat, 1 for the shelf, and 1 for the bottom. And if I use the, like I said when we were in the van, if I use the 250s, I should be able to cut the ends off them, and that'll make me divisions for the shelves. So the seat part here is going 18-inch high, 455. I don't really want to see biscuits on the end of here. If I was to put a tongue and a groove in, then you'd see that and I'd accept that, but I'm going to try and avoid that. So what I've got here is a mark at 1800. So what I'm going to do is try and avoid putting biscuits around that point, so I'll put a biscuit there, biscuit back there. I might put loads in actually. And same again, 950 high, which is there, 950 from that end, 950 from this end. So I won't put any biscuits around this point here. So I'll put a biscuit there. I know I'm going to be cutting a lot of this out, but I haven't decided whether I'm cutting it this way or that way, so I need to biscuit there, 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 there. And I've got my extractor set up, biscuit jointer there. Look at this made. So there, there. In my mind, just gluing them together with biscuits to align is the easy way out, but I'm curious as to how it goes, and like I say, I'll take the consequences. I'll take it to bits and rebuild it if I have to in a year or two if they start splitting, but I very much doubt it. Once these boards are glued together, it'll take some work to pull them apart. Normally I like to sort of think traditionally and think, you know, what would they have done in the old days? They'd probably put a tongue and groove in, or sometimes you even see some dowels putting them together. But I'm curious to see how it goes. And Half Earl are quite a good brand, so this should be alright. And when I'm putting these together, I'm looking to see which has got the face side, a good face side, so I put them all good face side up so that I've got at least a face and a back, and I can sort of pick and choose a little bit. I think this one's going to be the seat. You see there's an example, so that would be the back, this would be the face. I'd have to have a look, you know, just see what the knots are like on the other side. And I'm not planing these timbers, and you can see this one's a bit sawn on this edge, so I can't use that for gluing together. But just put them together dry like this, just make sure there's something like, see that one kicks up there, but I think it'll glue together okay. Right, and I should mention it, normally you'd have your grains going up and then down, then up, then down, so that when they do bend the wave like that instead of going in a big curve. But this thing's going to be so screwed together, or so glued together, and I don't want these big ugly things on the face. And this centre pith, I was told it was called, it's a centre thing that grows, so I'm going to turn that over. It's a much nicer face, that one. These are dead knots, these are the ones that bleed and get loose. These ones are live knots. See the difference with black ring around them? They're the ones that bleed. These ones not so much. They still bleed, but not so much. But these are the ones that come loose. So that means that my grains go in the same way, but I don't care. I'm more interested in the face. So I like that. You can just lay them down and glue them together, of course, but you might find that by the time you get your last one on, half your glue's run out the front one. But at least that's, you know, it's horizontal, so it shouldn't go too far. But I can lay these down now quickly, just stick them together, get some clamps on. So I'm going to let them sit and dry for a little while, and I'm going to try not to play with my new phone with manky hands. Then I can get a couple more glued up. Run out of clamps now. Well, sort of. Right, new phone. Flickers in the light. Does have 4K this as well, but when I put it on 4K it jerks. Doesn't like being moved around like this. But the flickering of the light, I don't know about that. Could be the fluorescence. You see that? Let's turn them off. Yeah, you see it's gone now. But I've got 60 grit in here. I'm just going to rub them over. And where I have to, I'll go that direction, then that direction, and then finally that direction. That'll flat them, but it'll put scores in, so I'll have to go that way to clean it up, and then I'll go over it with a little disc sander. I'll just do a little bit in 4K, you'll see. See how it judders. There, I put it back. You see it doesn't judder. And I'm not scraping these off. I've found that in the past, even when you scrape them at an angle, sometimes you end up with taking slivers out. So just run belt sander over them. It rubs them off quite quickly. I'll have to go over it with orbital sander, give it a good sand, smooth it off. Right, so there I've got 4 boards, one for the ends, one for the seat, one that will get cut down for the middle shelf, then I'll get 2 either uprights or the divisions out of it, and then one for the bottom that'll get cut down as well, that'll be the divisions. So I can start cutting them up, making a bench out of them.